Do you like reading? Do you like books? Here are some quotes about books. A room without books is like a body without a soul. Take a good book to bed with you. Books do not snore. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Books are a uniquely portable magic. I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a book. Reading exercises brain, reading boosts knowledge, reading expands vocabulary, reading introduces empathy, reading strengthens memory, reading fosters concentration, reading enhances imagination, reading keeps you engaged, reading sharpens mind, reading strengthens writing skills. So, my dear students, if you wish to become a good writer or a good person, you should read a lot. Now, let's get into the poem and let's see what the poet is trying to tell us. All of you take page number 27. There in the top, there is a saying of Dr. Seuss, a very well-known writer of children's books. He has said, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. He says, when you read more, you will learn more and the more places you will go. How we can go places with books? Let's find out by reading the poem. I love my books. They are the homes of queens and fairies, knights and gnomes. The poet loves books for many reasons. He says a book is a place of magical creatures like queens, fairies, knights and gnomes. Queens and fairies, you might have familiar with the words queens and fairies. So, according to the poet, a book is a place of such magical creatures like queens, fairies, knights and gnomes. Knights means soldiers who rode horses and fought battles a long time ago. Gnomes are the tiny men who are believed to be the guardians of Earth's treasures. You might have seen such gnomes in your cartoons. Each time I read, I make a call on some quaint person, large or small, who welcomes me with hearty hand and leads me through his wonderland. Each time the poet opens a book to read, he pays visit to a strange or interesting character, either large or small, who is friendly and welcoming, and takes the poet on a journey through the wonder world in which he lives. Each time I read, I make a call. Each time an poet reads a book, he meets a strange person, either large or small. The person welcomes the poet with hearty hand and leads the poet through his wonderland. Each book is like a city street along whose winding way I meet new friends and old who laugh and sing and take me off adventuring. Winding means lots of having a lot of bend and turns. The poet compares each book to a street with many twists and turns, where one meets both new and old friends along the way and together they laugh and sing. Each book is like a city street along whose winding way I meet new friends and old who laugh and sing and take me off adventuring. And these friends take the poet, these friends take the poets for adventuring. The poet imagines that together they visit new places and do new and exciting things. The poet explains how books transport him to a space and time that is unreal and magical. It is away from everyday life and is full of fun adventures and fantasies. It is an experience that the poet can get only from books. Here in the poem, poet uses comparisons, both simile and metaphor he used in this poem. Last year, you have learned simile and metaphor. When we compare two things using like or as, we call it as simile. When we compare two things by saying one thing is something else, that is called metaphor. Here are some examples. Similes and metaphors. Just read it. Her heart is like gold. Her heart is gold. The world is like a stage. The world is a stage. He eats like pig. He is a pig. You are like a rock. You are a rock. Your eyes are like sunshine. You are my sunshine. When we compare two things by using like or as, we call it as simile. And when we compare two things by saying one thing is another. Here, the first sentence, her heart is like gold. We used like and compared heart to gold. But in the case of metaphor, we say directly one thing is something else. The heart is gold. Here in our poem, we have two comparisons. Poet used two comparisons. There in first stanza, I love my books. They are the homes. Books are the homes. Here, the comparison is metaphor, and here in the last stanza, each book is like a city street. He compared the book by using the word like. The book is like a city street. That is simile. Through this poem, the poet is trying to say the value of books and the importance of reading. Hope all of you have understood the poem very well. Thank you.